We are back with more of the Guy Dawson Show at the World Center of Broadcast Media.
Having so much fun.
I'm hanging out with a money woman. Her name is Holly Lynn, and she's the queen of capital. And we were in the commercial break, Holly. We were talking about one of your philanthropic endeavors, and that you have a purpose behind money. I mean, obviously, you are someone who loves money, but there is a purpose that you have behind the thing that you love so much, and that's you have a purpose for children.
Yeah, it's a really big purpose. That's where we're programmed from everything, and from where you grow up in life, whether the influence is your mother, father, grandmother, wherever it is, that is where you learn about all your finances. That's it's where it starts, and it's very interesting because even till this day, when I go to pay any of my bills or take a look at mine, my household, I still have flashbacks once in a while on mine. But anyway, I know where you're going with this, so I am very excited about this, extremely. But I am going to be doing. Collaborating in San Francisco with a group called the United Players, and I'm going to be holding a cash flow game for the kids, and we're going to be doing our first one next week, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so she's talking about cash flow, and it's called Cash Flow 101. It is a game that was created by Robert Kiyosaki. If you've ever heard of him, he wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a whole lot of others, and has done a lot of seminars. But the game Cash Flow 101, I love the game personally, and I think for children to begin to learn about what they can do. It really, for a young person to be wired that way, as a young person, I think could really have a very positive effect on their life, with finance throughout their lives.
Well, the truth is that, like, take for instance, when I started playing the cash flow game, as much as I knew about finances and investing and money management and stuff like that, I had so many breakthroughs. It even made me angry. I walked out of the game very confused.
You see that quite a bit, actually.
You do. It challenges your belief system entirely. And the coolest thing that I got from it, I'll never forget, that because this was a huge game changer for me. This is actually what made me go home and break all of my finances down and get messy, and look at things that I didn't want to look at, and get on the right track. But the first time I played, I was one of the characters. I want to say, like, I was a plumber, and I believed that in order to invest, you had to be wealthy. You had to have a bunch of extra cash. You had to, have plenty, like an abundance of cash to invest. Well, the truth is that some of the people in the game that were a teacher, a plumber, somebody that wasn't getting these high-end paychecks, they were the ones who created wealth and got out of the rat race faster. And it's very inspiring. And so I'm really, really excited to, play with the kids and facilitate that. And very excited to, shed some light on, them being able to be and do really, like, whatever it is that they want. And having the reality that, with the, these are going to be people in junior high, this first one, but when they do start to work, or, if they're getting an allowance, or, whatever their upcoming, financial thing is that they are actually able to do this. And, it's incredible.
Yeah, I think Robert Kiyosaki was absolutely brilliant in creating that game, and it's something that's changing the world. Because if you're playing that game consistently, and once you can get beyond your internal stuff, because I know most people have internal things around money. But when you really look at it and you see the way that passive income works, which I know is a big thing for you,
Right.
It just, you can see why there are some people who are just so successful in the world when it comes to money, because like you, they're getting it passively, while the other people in the world are out there. The government takes the money off the top. The advantages are in creating passive income, being on the B and the I side as compared to the self-employed and employee side.
Let's expand on that a bit. Yeah, I like to play with that subject. You do not. There is no. You cannot create wealth without it. That's just. It's the. It's just the way that it is. I've tried. I've tried, and I've gotten very clear that my job, for my own finances, is to concentrate on finding returns. That's my, and before I connect other people, which I do all the time, I make sure that mine is always working. So it's not about. I'm never waiting on a check. It's never about waiting. I just make sure that I do what I can do to keep it flowing.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to the person out there who doesn't really have a background in finance, and they're looking at us right now, let's say, and they are just in an enormous amount of debt, don't have enough money to pay their bills every month? What do you recommend for them to start to move in a direction of believing? Let's not even touch the fact that the bills themselves. Just developing the belief that they can live a more abundant life, or that at some point they can achieve passive income streams. For a lot of people, that is just so unbelievable.
Okay, so big time. Okay, number one, don't believe it. Don't believe it. You don't have to believe it, but take action. Whether you believe it or not, take action. Sometimes what happens is people ruin their credit. Okay? That is how they get on this downward spiral, and it's this thing that just kind of takes over. And you don't necessarily have to believe that you could do it. Just take a different action. Take a different action in a different direction. So, take, for instance, many people like their credit. Get some credit repair. Get some credit repair. Be okay with getting uncomfortable. Look at your finances, and get a new financial structure. Many people are interested in what it is that I do, and connecting, and networking and stuff like that. And before you even get to that part, that's what I would do. Is I would definitely work on the credit and work on getting a better financial structure, because it's not about the money. None of it's about the money. It's really about your habits, and the financial habits most of all, because your financial habits will create the rest of your entire life. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's just really fascinating to be speaking with the Queen of Capital. Today we are touching on some subjects. Boy, money for some people is something that they would rather not talk about, and I think it's something that you should be talking about all the time, because we have money. Money goes through our hands. It's in our pockets. It's how we eat. It's how we live.
Guy, money is a very uncomfortable subject for some people, and what I love most about that is that I like to make it a comfortable subject. You would be surprised. I'll meet people, and within just a few minutes, right off the cuff, I will get into their finances, because I care. I care what's going on with them. And I really I'm very comfortable with straight out asking people, what is your, not their net worth, but what are you making? Let's figure out a way to get you more.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to get all of you more out there. We have the Queen of Capital, Holly Lynn, on the show. We're going to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, I want to talk about living the abundant life.
Yeah.
Why money is important, so that you can do things maybe we'll talk about some of your experiences as a result of knowing how to create a great deal of capital. And yeah, we're talking about big money on the show today. We'll see you in a few minutes.